was thrilled by the Gita and wanted to meet the author, wanted to meet her master, because she knew from reading the Gita, this is my spiritual master. And then she's mortified to find out that her hero, her new hero, has left Earth 10 years before, in 1977. But she's very inspired and she wants to join his mission. So she does. And she's already a teacher. She's very bright. And she starts studying Prabhupada's books. And she's participating in the mission, studying Prabhupada's books. 4 years later, in 1991, she meets and ends up marrying a Prabhupada initiate, and then they move. No, they didn't. Anyway, she's married to Prabhupada initiate. Notice I always say initiate. I don't say Prabhupada disciple. I don't like that phrase. It's like an exclusive club, right? And that's just not the point of this seminar. We all have that relationship with Prabhupada, foundational for all generations. You'll never hear me say Prabhupada disciple unless I use it ironically, right? He's a Prabhupada disciple. Like I said, he's an endangered species. Feed him good soup so he doesn't croak. So. Anyway, so she's reading Prabhupada's book. She's a bright lady, and it says in the books you've got to take initiation. But she knows that Prabhupada's her spiritual master. I mean, she doesn't have the vocabulary to articulate, all the different aspects of Guru Tattva, because we're still understanding that in ISKCON. So it says in Prabhupada's books you've got to take initiation. Right? That's part of the process. That's one of the first 10 things you do. Principles of devotional service, nectar devotion. Take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, accept initiation from them. Okay, so she starts corresponding with somebody she's reading, and she likes what the person's writing, so she says, I'd like to maybe develop a relation, maybe take initiation from you. Can we start corresponding? And so the person says, well, I'm not so much initiating anymore, and you'll probably never see me, and you're already married to a Prabhupada disciple, he said. So why don't you just take shelter of your husband and be happy? So she's disappointed. Oh, gee, I really like this person, and I guess I'll just do what he says. So she did. So she just. And then this is the 1990s. So ISKCON is continuing to go through its traumas and dramas, and fall downs and betrayals, and, along with good things, And Prabhupada's centennial year comes, and it's kind of a turning point. And but she keeps reading Prabhupada's books, and she knows that she's supposed to take initiation. But by participating in ISKCON, she becomes kind of hesitant. I don't know if I want to take initiation. I don't know. Maybe the person will disappoint me. Maybe he'll leave ISKCON, or whatever. But Prabhupada's saying you got to take initiation. So it's becoming a conflict, And then the 90s wear on, more and more traumas and dramas, but she's, fixed in Prabhupada's books. And then the 90s end, remember Y2K? Remember that? And the world did not end, it didn't go up in a puff of cyber smoke. The world still existed after January 1, the new millennium. So she's, okay, the world didn't end, so I guess I have to still come to grips with this dilemma, And she starts telling her husband, Prabhu, we've got to do something about this. I'm going crazy, Prabhupada wants me to take initiation. But by now she's thinking, I can't imagine offering incense to anybody else's picture or offering food to anybody else, Prabhupada's my spiritual master. I don't want to risk anybody else coming in between me and Srila Prabhupada. 2003, she and her husband are at a festival. And she gets inspired. She's hearing a certain Maharaj speak. And she says to her husband, Prabhuji, we've got to speak to Maharaj. I've got to tell him my story. I've got to solve this. You know? I'm going completely insane. This is such a conflict. So her husband says, okay, so let me talk to the festival organizer. So the festival organizer said, well, you know, Maharaj has been traveling all over the world, and he's feeling sick, and he's exhausted. So, I'll tell you what, I'll give you 10 minutes. I have to tell you a life story, right? I'll give you 10 minutes. So, like Chris's arrangement, 10 minutes turned into 20 minutes, turned into 30 minutes, turned into 40 minutes, and in the course of 40 minutes, this lady, who's been in ISKCON now for 16 years by 2003, right? Not initiated. You know people like this? Maybe you're one of them, right? But there's a good ending to this. This might help you. So she pours out her heart, you know, to the Maharaj, and she says, you know, I know Prabhupada wants me to be an initiate. I can't imagine anybody coming in between me and Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, my spiritual master. Is this offensive, Maharaj? So Maharaj says, he's very wise, he says, no, it's not offensive. It's intelligent. It's very intelligent. And then he proceeds to tell the lady about how long it took him to surrender to Srila Prabhupada. Yeah. It took a long time. I mean, to Srila Prabhupada. And then he said the magic words. And it wasn't just a line, it was spoken from pure realization. What if you took initiation from someone who would not block your relationship with Srila Prabhupada, but would enhance, deepen, and enrich your relationship with Srila Prabhupada, who would bring you closer to Srila Prabhupada? What if you took initiation from someone like that? So the lady says, oh, I never heard that before. I mean, no wonder she's in a quandary, right? She never heard it even the idea of it. This is back in 2003. So she's inspired. So she starts corresponding with this person, you know, the person who said that to her. And then a year later, she takes initiation. And I kind of knew her story, but I wanted to hear it in detail. So when she wrote the whole story out in an email with a request that I not, you know, allow her name. Then she told the story, and then she put a nice PS, a nice epilogue to the story. And this is really worth it. It's good. I mean, even better. She said, and Suresvara Prabhu, I'm happy to tell you that not only has Maharaj kept his promise to bring me closer to Srila Prabhupada, deepen my relationship with Srila Prabhupada, but because he is who he is, now he has also taken his place at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada in my heart. And I said, yes, that is Prabhupada. He's not trying to replace Prabhupada, but he's bringing you closer to Prabhupada. That's what Diksha and Shiksha Gurus are supposed to do. So, that's how the Guru-disciple, that's how ISKCON will go on, that's how the Guru-disciple culture will go on in a non-sectarian way. There won't be, you know, so much politics and territorialness and, you know, my guru is better than your guru. My guru is cuter than your guru. My guru's got more money than your guru. My guru's got more disciples than your guru. Maybe people don't say that, but maybe they're thinking like that. And therefore, I must be the best, because I'm initiated by the best. And this is false pride. You know? So, before, somehow I was thinking that story would help your question. In other words, she took 17 years Now again, it doesn't happen like that. Now she has God brothers and sisters who were brought into Krishna consciousness differently. Maybe her spiritual master was also the Varma Pradarshika Guru of who, maybe the person she took initiation from introduced people to Prabhupada. They never knew Prabhupada at all. So maybe that, besides being a Diksha Guru, he was the introducer Guru. Now that kind of a disciple is going to have a different relationship, right, with that disciple than the lady who already knew Prabhupada for 16, 17 years. It's not stereotyped. But in each case, Prabhupada is still the foundational spiritual master. But there are all kinds of different relationships. Even in Prabhupada's time. And what Govinda Das, the kind of relationship Govinda Dasi has with Prabhupada, who was instrumental in giving Prabhupada a name, it's going to be different than somebody else. That might be an initiating guru today, or a GBC who never met Prabhupada, who never had that Vapu stuff, never had the Vapu Sangha. There's all kinds of, Krishna, because Krishna is the guru, and he's bringing us home to him in myriad ways. He knows what we all need. So he's bringing us in many different kinds of ways. So we shouldn't avoid initiation, we shouldn't jump into it prematurely, but we should pursue it in a way that's based on Prabhupada's life teachings, mood and mission, and based on knowing ourselves in relationship to Prabhupada. More and more we have an opportunity, actually. There's more and more. Vani Prabhupada is more and more available through all these recorded means we have. If I were a young guy coming into ISKCON today, if I were 24, or I was 23 when I came, if I were a Bhagyavan Jeev, if I were a fortunate soul, what would happen to me? The senior devotees, they would insist that I get to know Srila Prabhupada, his life teaching, his mission. And with their help, I would get to know Prabhupada. And then they would encourage me, after some time, to take the next step. So it takes time. It takes time, it takes sincerity, patience. And then who would I don't know. I like drama. I like walking. Maybe I'd approach Bhakti Marg Swami. The walking monk. I don't know. I just said that off the top of my head. But I'd be attracted to somebody who was involved in an aspect of Prabhupada's mission that I was attracted to. Because I probably know that person could help me, deepen that samadhi, that trance. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we'll get to that.
No, you ask first.
It's a little different. It's about the Varnashram in general. Traditionally, it's my impression that, of course, the father and son, the son would inherit basically the father's occupation in the traditional system.
They had a good chance, a better chance.
That was mostly the case, and you see also in the ninth canto all these kings. Some of them, they created Brahmins from kings, and also Parshuram king, Kshatriya, son of a Brahmin. But do you think it is going to, at one point we will kind of revert back to this more traditional style of father and son kind of thing, as Prabhupada always talks about, that the son has to do his father's bidding? And because we have to do it the other way by looking at our nature, because we're so mixed up. But in the tradition, usually the son became the same as the father in the old Varnashram system.
Yeah, that's why when we did the Varnashram lesson, Prabhupada was really not interested in Vedic Varnashram, but in Daivi Varnashram for the Kali Yuga, because we really are in a different time. Yeah. That's why we need a lot of help. It's a multiple, many mentors, starting with good parents. Parents, teachers, gurus. let's go ahead first.
I was thinking of also considering like the title of today's lecture. In Vaisheshika Prabhu's new book, he's talking like a lot about mission statement and like the importance of like having the whole yatra like pointed in a direction which is obvious to everyone. And he's mentioning this example, which is from the Bible, where they are building a big wall, but kind of when they're halfway through, they kind of forget why they're building it, and then they are stopping. So Vaisheshika Prabhu is making this point that like one should have like a mission statement, and then just like emphasize it and like repeat it so many times for the congregation. I was just wondering if you could maybe like talk a little about that like concept and idea in relation to this.
Yeah, it's very important that we have. Human life is a purpose. It's full of purpose, and the main purpose is, God realization. But that's a good example. I'm thinking of, Vaisheshika Prabhu's ISV Sangha, ISKCON, Silicon. And so, when you take initiation from Vaisheshika Prabhu, what kind of Sangha you're buying into, because it's become so famous. It's really books focused, studying books and distributing books, and that's the family business. So if that's, if after time in Prabhupada's mission, you're inspired by that, then that's the kind of Sangha you want to be involved with. So that's another point for, See, no guru or God family has all of Prabhupada. I think I mentioned this. Your people are reflecting aspects of Prabhupada. There's so many aspects, and we're going to do this in less than 10. So you really have, just like when you marry, traditionally in India at least, you're not just marrying a person, you're marrying into a family, right? It's a whole, and that's why, there's three things they usually look at. They look at the gotra, when you're considering boy and girl for an arranged marriage. The gotra, the jyotish, the stars, especially they don't do the sun sign, they do the moon sign. For the mind, they're more interested in the mind, the psychology. Are they going to be compatible psychologically? That's more important.
The sun is body?
The sun is the body, yeah, and the moon is the mind. And what else? They look at the earning capacity of the husband. So similarly, when we, now we have, in ISKCON, post-Prabhupada, Prabhupada, we have this multiple group culture. So we have God families which emphasize different aspects, which naturally access Prabhupada's different sides. Like some gurus might like it. Bhakti Raghava Swami, if you took initiation from him, you're really buying into the plain living and high thinking Varnashram. Make Vrindavan villages kind of passion. That's great. Or what's another example? What other gurus have different kinds of, what are they known for? Lokanath Swami, he's Mr. Padayatra, Mr. Festival, Or another guru might be a science, like, what's his name? Well, recently, of course, Bhakti Srila Prabhupada, but now we have, Hanumat Prashak Swami? Mm-hmm. He's an interesting combination of a scientist and a dramatist. You don't usually get an actor and a scientist in the same body, but he's like that. He's like, He gave a Bhagavatam class at Mayapur, and somebody asked him at the end, Maharaj, you've been in this class since 1973, 1974, over 40 years. Can you give us the fruit of your, what's your advice on how to advance in Krishna consciousness? So he gave a great one-liner, dramatic one-liner. I'll give you in 7 words the fruit, or the cream of my experience in this kind. Get up early and chant your rounds. And he said it very dramatically. Dun 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 dun. It was wonderful. So yeah, different people will bring you to Prabhupada in different ways. Yeah.
The devotee who doesn't want any initiating guru to come in between her and Srila Prabhupada, was her name, I think you said it, Govinda Dasi?
No, and if it was, I wouldn't say it either. I say no.
Okay,
Yes.
I hear it in my ear.
Oh, okay. No, I've been sworn to secrecy, just to honor that. Yes.
I just wonder, you say it's very important to have a good teacher as your father and mother, and is it then karma when you had very bad teachers?
Yes.
Because, like example, my father killed my mom when I was 3.5 and made suicide.
Yeah.
And after I got a new family who learned me to drink pig blood.
Yeah. That's our karma.
That's not a good
Yeah,
teacher.
no, we're just playing, we're in an emergency situation. That shouldn't discourage us. That should fire us up. Oh yeah, I got such a bad background that I'm in an emergency situation. I really gotta be serious. That's why, my godbrother said to Prabhupada, Prabhupada, how am I here? I can see I was just, eating meat and taking intoxication, chasing women, gambling. How am I here? Yes, I have created your good fortune. Now you go out and create it for others. This is Lord Chaitanya's program. He divinely intervenes in our bad karma. That's why Narada Muni said in Chaitanya Mangala, what are we going to do? It's going to be so bad. Yadi papi chadi dharma durideshe yoy mora sinapati bhakta yai vetatoy. Don't worry. Even if the sinners reject religion or flee to foreign countries, and end up in Denmark or America, I will send more Sinapati Bhakta. I will send my military field commander to go there and deliver them. No, we don't deserve it. But our only qualification is that we're accepting Prabhupada's mercy. We're lucky enough to accept the gift. All we have to do is, yes, I accept. Otherwise, my God, such horrible, fates we have by our stars. Can't even imagine. So don't worry, just accept the gift, accept the matchless gift.
I feel also that that's because on Sunday I'm going to be initiated by my spiritual master. So I feel very blessed.
Yes, that's great.
I Srila Krishna Swami.
Smriti Krishna Maharaj. Great. I love Smriti. I can't wait to see him at the Bhakti Sangam Scandinavia in July. I'm going to be up there. He's good. Now there's a good example too. If I were really focused on, building community and plain living, and he's the kind of person I want. Because that's his meditation, build his own house, quiet, humble sage. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, speaking about, what you just described in this lifetime. So I once saw Prabhupada describing the horrors of Kali Yuga. And I was sitting right to the side of him so that I could see his profile. So he was saying, this is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. A real Kali Yuga city, I think I mentioned. Even the beer, it's called the Iron City beer. Iron City. Did I ever tell this stuff? Yeah. Oh, I did. This is Kali Yuga. He was saying, Kali Yuga is so bad. Even in the womb they are coming after you with a knife. He was twisting his wrist with a knife. Even in the womb. The so-called safe place. And then his eyes were bulging out of the sockets, and that's what I was seeing from the side, how Prabhupada's eyes were bulging out of Acaraya says that he was supposed to be awarded. His mother wanted to award him. He told Prabhupada, but somehow somebody convinced her not to award him. Well, yeah. So, get ready for tomorrow night. It's a wild ride. To love is to cooperate. It's very intense. It's a long lesson, so I'll try not to tell as many stories. I told a lot of stories tonight because this is kind of short actually. But tomorrow's kind of involved. To love is to cooperate. Any other questions? Comments?
Like you mentioned, like the mentors are like supposed to see our propensity and then engage us accordingly. But then like there is also practical management to take care of. And then here in the West, I mean like we are not so many. So then there is also you get to observe that okay, things have to be done.
Yeah,
We
it's
need
the classic dilemma, right? The lines of authority. You have the guru and you have the temple president. And hopefully they're on the same page, but too often they're not. I mean, it's real. Like Prabhu has to keep who's going to offer the next arti, who's going to cook the next offering. So, but in general, in the main, a good leader will understand that the biggest asset I have in this yatra are the people. It's not the property, it's not the building, it's not how many books have been distributed or how much lakshmi we have. It's the people and their progressive spiritual lives. And that's a yatra where people will come to. If they know that this is what is uppermost in the leader's mind, it's a place where you can grow, But if it's just all about keeping the trains running on time, so to speak, and just always like emergency management or, then there's something wrong there, right? There's something wrong. So, yeah. Anyway, but there are practical considerations. We have duties. We have routine duties, desired duties, and emergency work. But as Prabhupada said in a couple of letters, end of 74, beginning of 75, management follows preaching like a shadow. If you're really a good manager, is really a Krishna conscious person who wants everybody to be Krishna conscious, who is Krishna conscious, and realizes that that's what it's all about, giving and receiving shelter. So, okay, we better end.
Sure.
Thank you for coming, and tune in tomorrow at 6 p.m. Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.